The Knotsman, being notes and researches into the itinerant class, and here recorded by the gentleman and antiquarian Mr. E, since vanished. The Knotsman, an itinerant, a cunning man, claiming to solve the ills of a household by the unpicking of knots found within the dwelling or domain. Nuts! Nuts! Nuts for me to loose today! In the throng of the marketplace today, I saw a creature sat alone, a seeming crow, the Knotsman, as he's known. I asked if I might watch his work, write it down. A scribbler, are ye? He replied. A gentleman, I. A poet also, making knots of words. I weave with rhymes and sounds. He farted then. Aye. Joe, not when I'm around. His fingers catch the smallest fibre, just a touch, to let it know he knows it's there. A gentle roll to feel the threads within a thread, remind them each, the twists and twills, what it feels like to be free. Teasing, working out the strand within the tightened loop. Pulls it clear to loose the one that's trapped beneath. Never take the way to her, you see. Cup it gentle, let it ease. Stroke it, roll it, take both ends. Work toward the middle to the first entangle, born from kinks and left to curl. Mind the snarl. Pearls and stitches are my foemen. Knitting, grandsires, look away. I'll throw your work, your warm work, all dropped upon the stones. He grins. A tiny tug against the strain and around to push, then tug again the other way. Enlarge the loop, leave it hanging, bring the body through the mouth. Never wet it, never let it swell. Nor too much dry, nor snapping strings is worse than hell. With a nail and a pin and a close to eye, his pickers, teasers, hangers by. Know the tug that will not tighten, know the route, the loops the trouble takes. The hair loop, the river loop, the strangle grip, the key thread, the loom weight, the fawn and jib, the shy cog, the stray fanny, dog's leg, lip, and jaw. Is the line a fly? Can it be released and never further trap the rest? Oh, look, there's two in a twin cobbling, kissing jennies, best to part 'em. Patient, working every hitch, breathing space between the threads, divining where a life has doubled back upon its past. Get it right at the last and all will come unknotted of itself. Strings, strings. Have your loom, have your harp. Strings for me today. Bleeding strings, throttled strings, crippled strings. They cut too quick, he says beneath his breath, impatient, wanting free, leaving ragged edges left to bleed, worse to fray, to ravel out, vanish right away. He searches under stairs and under beds, beneath the boards and hid by attic dust, down between the pots of grains, or else entangled in the drains. Perhaps it's in the cellar in the mulching pot, or caught within a tether in the milking shed. snagged upon a mattress spring, jarring in the harpsichord, a sullen spinster's leavings, or a cat's plaything. If there's trouble, there's a knotted string. String, strand, line, thread, rope, wool, yarn, weave, web, twist, cotton, peel, warp and woof, cable, fleece, leather, net, chain and stitch, hemp, hair, sinew, vein, and gut. Here's a knot to why your daughter flies into your face, and why your wife is gripped in iron brow, to why your son keels at the first, slights ye to his horse. This knot I found within your drawer. I can untie it, first be warned, that all that's bound within these loops and quandaries will be freed around your house, your ward, may even bring your market down. I watched him work a gang of threads, caught behind a curtain on the bed, heard the lazy roof return to its place, saw the smile leave the housemaid's face, saw the mistress find her leg, the husband learn to beg, the son retread his flight, the daughter disentangle from the night, a baby find a song within his cry, the aged grandam needing not a tear to glint her eye, the river flooding gold across the floor, a shaggy bearskin draped across the door. And as he pulled the last neck from its noose, I heard the words he said. "Hey, strings! Have ye strings?" He'll ask you, sir, to tie his boots, or buttons else. Say, I mustn't tie. I cannot tie. No loops for me. I only loose. He'll loose the knot that draws the ship onto the rock, that leaves the soldier rigid in the bullet's path, the mother's hold upon the boldest son forlorn, the sulking husband tugged toward the pretty eye, purse strings wrongly paid, too tight or over wide, the swift surgeon's unhealed overstitch, the mismade and unfiring match. Sometimes a love knot's to draw apart, and then I'll weep, for heartstrings shouldn't not be tied. Is this your betrothal rope, my boy? Aye, I can see she doesna love. I'll set you loose for a penny half. He held the knot above the hanging cords, bristling knobs and loops, took a ragged end, drew it through a swollen hitch. The lover pitched. Knees caught his flood of tears, and knuckles kissed his forehead tenderly. "Dinna fret, la lad," he said, easing with a rolling stroke the bind surrendered to his hand, trapped and choking lengths of thread uprooted from the tumbled scree. The boy's convulsions settled, voicing free his grief. He stood at last, a crooked rope. Aye, kinks will stay a while, but with hope, he'll tie it right again. He looked at me, the easy ties around my neck, my cuff and calves, the high sides of my boots. "Have you strings about your person? Makes you strangle words tight upon your page? I can loose some, so you never need to bleed ink, nor dip your pointy stick into your soul. I have no knots upon me, sir, nay, I say with steady eye, no tie, just pen and ink. Aye. Well, just keep your rhymes away." Guilt, shame, Secrets, ire, envy, loss, evil grip, illness, lies, fear, desire, lost belief, snarled lip, cowardice, disdain, avarice, hunger, lust left, and pain. A reader of birth knots, life knots, the slip knot, death. They say the elf will curse his name, undoing quite their merry game. He sees the weaving that the planets make, the stars, the holding knot, the holy knot, the warp and weft, ne'er to be unknotted that, fetters work, the gods did that. Drawing threads through heaven's loom, that's good work that, smooth work, never knotted. Only sometimes one goes back, Mr. Stitch, we feel it then. But soon the knotsman finds the kink, and all is smooth once more. All of us, patterns in a web, it seems, pulled and pulling by more strings than may be known. But get a knot in one, new one goes nowhere. I must hide my scrawl from the knotsman's eye. He'd take my tangled words and smooth them out, the knotted ink, to let my meaning fray. Tied inside a double cobbler, hitched within a secret shank, I keep my verse from knotsman's fingers, and I pray he will never